faculty members who are here from diverse places across the country, students, and all other participants. Welcome you all. For the next 1 week, I hope all of you will have the most productive and interesting discussions with our experts. I once again extend my very warm welcome to everybody present here. Thank you. May I now invite Dr. Ravi Kumar to give an overview about the faculty development program, teaching and learning of additive manufacturing technology, emphasis on metal 3D printing. Dr. Ravi Kumar, please.
Yes, thank you. Respected Director, Professor N.V. Raman Rao, the chief guest of this program. Mr. Dilip Menzies, Managing Director, 3D Systems India, the guest of honor. And Professor A. Ramachandraya, Professor in Charge and Coordinator, TLC NIT Warangal, and another guest of honor for this program. Professor R. Narasimha Rao, Head Department of Mechanical Engineering, and Dr. R. Satish Babu, Head Department of Biotechnology, coordinators of FDP, dear colleagues, and my dear participants. A warm welcome to all for this inaugural function of a 6-day online FDP on teaching and learning of additive manufacturing, emphasis on metal 3D printing. So the idea of conducting this program is to create awareness in the cutting edge technology of metal 3D printing. Coming to metal 3D printing facility, very few educational institutions in India is having. Why? Because it is costing around 2 crores of rupees. So thanks to our beloved director to sanction this facility at NIT Warangal, the world-class facility at NIT Warangal. It's only because of you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We planned this program before the lockdown, so that is during March 3rd week, with the 40 participants in a face-to-face mode with 42 hours of delivery content. The emphasis was on hands-on practice. Now we have recasted this program into online mode with 30 hours, which includes 40% of teaching and learning content with 80 participants. But the challenge is how to accommodate the hands-on practice during online mode. So thanks to the advanced technologies, nowadays the platforms for the softwares is getting shaped into a browser-based or a cloud-based, or more or less it is an open architecture. So we have replaced the kind of a proprietary softwares with an open source softwares for the hands-on practice. And this was experimented recently in an AICTE Atal sponsored online FTP. In fact, we have succeeded. So we got now the same confidence now, and then we floated this and we got a overwhelming response for this course. And finally, we have restricted the participants to 120. So it is 3 times more than the face-to-face mode. So the following content will be covered during the 6 days over 20 sessions, which includes 5 hands-on sessions, 3D modeling using CAD tools, working with .stl files, preparing build setup using open source softwares, fabrication of models on both polymer and metal printers, design for 3D printing, modeling of metal laser additive manufacturing processes, recent advances in 3D printing processes, powder production and characterization techniques in metal 3D printing, 3D printing applications in automobile, aerospace, and medical industries. And of course, the role of 3D printing in COVID-19 pandemic, that is also going to cover, and standards, certification, and qualification of 3D printed parts, and of course, the research issues and the future directions of the 3D printing. So I am sure this course will fulfill the objectives of TLC Center and brings the faculty, PhD scholars, scientists, and industrial persons to come to a common platform and to encourage and share the knowledge of 3D printing technology. So thank you one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Ravi Kumar. I request Professor R. Narasimha Rao, Head, Department of Mechanical Engineering, to give an overview about the Department of Mechanical Engineering in NIT Warangal. Sir, please.
Hello. Yeah. Yes. Today, chief guest, our beloved director, Professor N.V. Ramana Rao Garu, NITW. Guest of honor, Mr. Dilip Menges, Managing Director, 3D Systems India, and Professor A. Ramchandra Garu, Professor in charge and Coordinator, Teaching Learning Center, NIT Warangal, Head of the Department, Biotechnology, Dr. R. Satish Babu Garu, Coordinator of this FDP program, Dr. Y. Ravi Kumar, Professor L. Krishnanand, Dr. Manjaya, Dr. Swakalingam, Dr. Prakash Haudagar, and keynote speakers and resource persons, registrars, deans, advisors, senior professors, associate deans, heads of the department, colleagues in the department, participants from various parts of the country, media, and my dear student friends. Very good morning to one and all. As the head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, I would like to give brief summary of our department. The Department of Mechanical Engineering at NIT Warangal exists right from the inception of the institute, RSC Warangal, in the year 1959. The department offers BTech program in Mechanical Engineering and MTech program with 7 different specializations. The Department of Mechanical Engineering is also offering doctoral degree in various fields of mechanical engineering. Presently, the department has 80 full-time research scholars and 38 part-time scholars and roles. Coming to the faculty strength, the mechanical engineering department is one of the largest in the institute in terms of both facilities and faculty. The department has a total of 47 faculty members with rich profiles and strong academic standing. Coming to the MOUs, the department has license with reputed industries and R&D organizations like NFTDC, BHEL, DMRL, DRDL, CMDA, Siemens, etc. Presently, the department is handling several R&D projects and consultancy works. The department has been recognized as QIP Center for MA and PhD programs. Then the Department of Mechanical Engineering took the initiation first in India to start a PG program with specialization MTech in additive manufacturing, collaboration with Central Manufacturing Technology Institute, CMTA, Bangalore, from the academic year 2014 to 15. Recently, we have set up a world-class facility in metal 3D printing at our department. So far, we have trained around 9,000 participants in the area of 3D printing or rapid prototyping and additive manufacturing by conducting various workshops and training programs. So additive manufacturing laboratory of NIT Warangal is equipped with metal 3D printer, polymer 3D printers, 3D scanners, mimics, and 3D software. The purpose of the 3D printing is the fabrication of objects through the deposition of material using print head, nozzle, or other printer technology. However, the term is often used synonymously with additive manufacturing. Design and manufacturing organizations use 3D printed parts for products in the consumer, industrial, medical, and military markets, to name just a few. Digital cameras, mobile phones, engine parts, parts and assemblies for aeroplanes, and medical implants are examples of a very long list of products which are benefited by the 3D printing technology. Next, coming to this, additive manufacturing or 3D printing is the key in fourth industrial revolution, Industry 4.0, as per the ABI research report. AM Systems will produce $2.0 trillion worth of parts and end products by 2030. With this, I wish all the participants from various parts of the country enjoying expert lectures and benefit out from the program. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Jai Hind. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Narasimha Rao, sir. Now I invite Dr. Prakash Haudagar to give a brief about the FDP, emerging trends in biotechnological advancements, challenges and prospects in tackling human diseases. Dr. Prakash.
Yeah, thank you, Chokalingam. Yeah. All the dignitaries of this today's function, my dear faculty, colleagues, friends, and participants. A very good morning to everyone, and thank you for joining this inaugural of online FDP on emerging trends in biotechnological advancement and challenges and perspectives in tackling human diseases. Before I talk about this FDP, I would like to mention that all throughout the history, epidemics have gave human challenges, but yet also brought with it many visible and hidden opportunities. COVID-19 has brought obstructions to the world in terms of health, trade, business, and other daily activities of human life. To overcome this pandemic situation and make the faculty members share and exchange ideas on research, teaching, and learning methodologies in the area of human disease using online tools and techniques, we are organizing this online faculty development program. Now talking about this workshop, this FDP is an evidence of biotechnology continues to make the major strides and is rapidly advancing due to its major role in tackling human diseases and other sectors by designing strategies and solutions to overcome the problems. We planned this FDP to provide the participants with latest techniques, practiced in teaching and learning resources methods in tackling human diseases. For this FDP, we have received a huge response from faculty members and researchers from different parts of our country. Since this is the first online FDP conducted by the Department of Biotechnology in association with Teaching and Learning Center NIT Warangal, and we are new to this experimenting this online platform, we could not accommodate the many participants in this FDP. Now we have limited the participants of around 80 for this particular online FDP program, though the approval was given for the 50. The solo reason for this is as I have mentioned, because we are conducting it for the first time using online platform, so we have restricted the number. Maybe next time, because of this huge response what we have received, we may conduct in a very large number. For the next 5 days, we have talked by eminent persons. It starts with the talk by our chief guest of today's function, Director NIT Warangal, Professor N.V. Ramarao sir, followed by the Professor Deepsika Chakraborty from IISc Bangalore, Dr. Amit Jaiswal from IIT Mandi, Dr. Ranjani, Biochemical Society, Singapore, Dr. Timur Tripathi, Northeast Hill Central University, Shillong, Meghalaya, Dr. P. Gopinath from IIT Roorkee, Professor Siddharth Ghosh and Dr. Sachin Kumar from IIT Guwahati, Dr. Shailaja Singh from National Center for Cell Science, Pune, and Professor Sanjeev Kumar Singh from Algappa University, and talks by our faculty colleagues from NIT Warangal. I am sure that the talk by these eminent speakers from world-class institutions will benefit the participants by imparting the knowledge of special subjects area, teaching and learning methodologies in which they are experts. We are indeed honored to have them as a resource person in this online FDP conducted by the Department of Biotechnology in association with TLC and NIT Warangal. We are looking forward to active participation by the participants during all the sessions of this online FDP. With this, I end my speech, and I wish all the participants a good health and stay safe and evolve with a positive energy in this COVID-19 crisis to do our part. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prakash. Now I request Dr. R. Satish Babu, Head, Department of Biotechnology, to give an overview about the Department of Biotechnology NIT Warangal. Satish Babu, sir, please.
Yes. Respected beloved Director N.V. Ramarao Garu, today's chief guest, and Mr. Dilip Menezes, Managing Director 3D Systems India, and Professor A. Ramachandraya, Professor in Charge and Coordinator, Teaching Learning Center NIT Warangal, the guest of honors, and Head of the Department, Mechanical Engineering Department, Professor R. Narasimha Rao Garu, and my dear participants, good morning to all of you. This is the biotechnology department as the youngest department in the institute. We started a BTech program in the year 2006, and also we started a PhD program. Right now we have 23 PhD students, and 15 already they finished their PhD from the department, and we have the strength of 20 young faculty at various disciplines, various specializations. Particularly they are from IITs and NITs, and they are doing good and they are getting projects. Now at present we have nearly 3 crores projects from various organizations like DPT and DST, CSR, and also at the same time we produced some patents, and we organized several workshops and conferences. And though it is a new online program, I wish the coordinators all the best, and participants also I wish you all the best. Thank you.
This conference will now be
My
recorded.
guest of honor, Mr. Dilip Menzies, the head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Professor R. Narasimha Garu, the head of the Department of Biotechnology, Dr. R. Sajeev Babu Garu, coordinators of these programs, Professor L. Krishnanand Garu, Professor Y. Ravi Kumar, Dr. Manjaya of Mechanical Department, Dr. Chakalingam, Dr. Prakash Saudagar of Biotechnology, deans, advisors of the director, various heads of the departments who must be watching this inaugural function. These are participants who have attended, who have been attending this combined inaugural from the nook and corner of the country. Very good morning to all, and hope all of you are staying safe and secure. My dear friends, it is my pleasant duty to present very briefly about the activities of the Teaching Learning Center, NIT Warangal. I would like to take just 5 minutes for making a presentation about the activities of Teaching Learning Center in the form of a small presentation here. The Teaching Learning Center has been started in the year 2016 after a team of faculty members have presented a project to the Government of India under its Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. The MHRD has felt it appropriate that in the changing circumstances in higher education, especially in science and technology, they felt that there is a need to train the faculty members across the country in various aspects related to the pedagogy of higher education, and also keeping in mind the learners in view. So instead of teacher-centric approach, a learner-centric approach has been coined, and with that view, a Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching has been conceived. In that, almost 60 different types of programs have been drafted, and out of which 25 are instituting teaching learning centers at the premier institutes of higher learning across the country. And we are very lucky, under the stewardship of visionary attitude of our beloved director, the NIT Warangal has also won a teaching learning center. The mission has been named after Madan Mohan Malaviya, whom all of us know as the great educator. He was the first vice chancellor of Banaras Hindu University, and he is bestowed with posthumously the Bharat Ratna award, also the highest civilian award. So this is the website of MHRD's website, which provides the objectives and various functional activities going on under Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. So these are the major objectives of the Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. So these objectives are already available on the website of the MHRD. All of us are requested to go through those aspects, and in case any activities are conducted all over the country, the participants may hook themselves and get benefited. These are the major activities that are actually done across the Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission, various activities, out of which, as I told you, 25 teaching learning centers have been instituted, and one is there in the NIT Warangal. We are very proud to say that out of all the 25 teaching learning centers across the country, the MHRD itself has acknowledged that the best performing teaching learning center is at NIT Warangal, thanks to the great visionary guidance and also administrative support given by our beloved director, Professor N.V. Ramana Rao Garu, both as an academician, as a great administrator. So this is the way the project advisory board has sanctioned to the sanctioned the teaching learning center to NIT Warangal, and these are the major objectives with which the teaching learning center has been functioning in this institute. And this is our website also. It is a part of the institute website, and anybody who wishes to get any activities, to know what are the activities going on under TLC, and also if they wish to suggest any new kinds of innovative ideas of teaching learning center, they are most welcome to provide those sessions to us, sir. So this is the teaching learning center building. Had this COVID-19 pandemic were not there, perhaps all of us would have been enjoying the inaugurals in this center itself. So this is the three-floor building, ground plus two-story building, and the building can withstand 4 more floors on the top for other purposes also. Right now, the entire building is operated for the activities of teaching learning center. At the end of the presentation, which I am going to be finishing in a couple of minutes, we'll be showing a 1-minute video also about the interior facilities available at the teaching learning center. These are the major activities, maybe comprising in 5 different kinds of domains. One of the domains of our major domain of activities of teaching learning center is to provide training facilities or training from eminent resource persons to all the faculty members whoever are registered. So that's called as a faculty development program. All of us are now actually engaged in this particular domain. We also conduct conferences and outreach activities so that the importance and the relevance of pedagogy in higher education concomitant to the trends happening in science and technology will be understood by the academicians and intellectuals across the country. And the teaching, the MHRD in the recent times now has made it a mandate for all the newly recruited faculty members to be abreast with the latest issues related to higher education, and some 12 major topics have been conceived, and these 12 topics should have been or should be imparted, should be made to be sensitized to the faculty members who are newly recruited. They are called as the induction training programs, and minimum of 3 induction training programs have been asked by the MHRD to be conducted by all IITs and all the NITs, whichever have been provided with the funds of Pandit Madan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. It is only NIT Warangal which has taken this call very, very religiously and conducted all the 3 programs of 1 month duration last year. And that is the credit and also the responsibility and also the greatness goes to our beloved director, Professor N.V. Ramana Rao Garu. Same time, we are also requesting our faculty members to develop new innovative ideas of or tools of making teaching and learning very enjoyable to the learners. Even much before this COVID-19, our faculty members were very busy in developing various low cost, no cost, and also online teaching materials, and also printed materials, and also developing virtual laboratories. And with the involvement of with the emergence of this COVID-19 pandemic, there is more relevance of developing such online and also virtual laboratory experiments and also learning materials. Okay, these are the various things that we do under the faculty development program itself. Various aspects are covered under the faculty development program, like these two things also. For example, these 2 faculty development programs, which both of the participants are attending, are subject related, biotechnology related subject and also mechanical related subject. But there are some other subjects where generalized aspects are also going to be covered. That is also part of the teaching learning centers activities. And we are also making e-lab manuals, aids, teaching aids, and video lectures. We have got a state-of-the-art studio in NIT Warangal Teaching Learning Center, and we are going to be equipping it by the end of this month. It is going to be ready to generate online studios and also capsules of video lectures, which can be beamed into the SWAYAM or other MOOCs or Moodle-based packages, and anybody in the world can have access to those lectures, and they can get benefited. For example, here we can see some kind of representative things how some of our faculty members have developed. For example, here you can see how the magnetic levitation, the so-called Mason effect, would be demonstrated online. And see the bottom one, no, the bottom right-hand side, you can see the mission 3D printing. Of course, the participants who are attending this 5-day teaching learning, the faculty program commencing from today, they are going to be actually involving in having hands-on experience on 3D printing. So this is one maybe benchtop model what NIT Warangal's mechanical department with the involvement of Professor Krishnanand, Dr. V. Ravikumar have already developed. I think at the cost of around some 30 to 40,000 rupees, we are likely to get a 3D printer like that. Perhaps the participants will be also provided of all the involvements, all the ingredients, and also the procedure of developing or fabricating this kind of 3D instrument. And with the handmade, with the local made 3D printer by mechanical department, you can see how some of the wonderful 3D objects have been developed, printed. And of course, our beloved former in charge director, Professor R.V. Chalam, also has made some simple, very novel ideas of showing even sections also of various sections of 3D objects by simple exercises like that. You can see on the left-hand side top corner where even a hexagon can be shown by a liquid poured into a cubical vessel. So this is the top one on the left-hand side. You see a regular commercial lowest cost 3D printer, which costs not less than 1 lakh or so, whereas on the right-hand side bottom, you can see the 3D printer fabricated by our mechanical department at about a cost of 30,000 rupees. Actually, the TLC has provided funds for them to have that mission. And you can have a look at that also during the course of the presentation. Similarly, as I told you, a lot of simple physics experiments and also mechanical engineering as per mechanical demonstrations, each with some kind of concepts have been made by the Department of Mechanical Department. Okay, so these are the various statistical aspects. By now, we have already conducted some 63 faculty development programs, and by then, nearly 3,000 faculty members have been benefited. And if you are counting all the business days that have gone into the various activities by exclusively teaching learning center, they sum up to something like 380 days. Okay, this is the building infrastructure that we may not be very much interested in. But anyway, for the sake of clarity, we are providing this data also. So this is the way in which in static pictures I'm showing you. This is the bird's eye view, sky view of the teaching learning center, and you will see a lot of infrastructural facilities available inside that. And we have got a team of administrators headed by our beloved director, Professor Ramarao, as the chairman of the committee, the dean, research and consultants, as the co-chairman, and various faculty members from various departments to come forward to conceive ideas related to teaching learning aspects from their respective departments. So there is representation from all the departments in deciding or shaping the activities of teaching learning center. So various some gallery of photos are shown here, but that's okay. We are also in the process of procuring the machinery necessary for developing a studio the way in which you can see at the bottom right hand side. Once the studio comes, anybody nearby NIT Warangal, including of course our own faculty members, can develop the video lectures, and they can be put into use. And this is the last slide where you can see a small video, maybe running for about a few seconds. Please bear with us. And so this is the major seminar hall. Around some 110 participants can be seated with pull-out handrest where they can keep their laptops, and also they can scribble on a notepad. And this is provided with the state-of-the-art podium and audio-visual aids, and also acoustics. And beside that, there is also a training hall where we'll be putting a square-shaped tables later on. This is only a stopgap arrangement, but we have already made orders. Once they come, no, the participants can sit across and discuss whatever has happened in that particular day and come out with their own learning extents. So this is the studio, which is now going to be equipped very soon. The left-hand side, you must have seen the control room, where the controlling systems will be seeing both the audio-visual aspects. And this is the computer center. So the participants, whoever are interested in the learning online and also want to develop online courses and all, can be uploading their presentations. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to have an important internal LMS training for all the PAC members. So this is the center for multi-faculties will be playing with it. So my dear participants of the TLC, I would like to thank all of you for having been patient enough to watch the presentation of the Teaching Learning Center, and we request all of you to provide any more suggestions so that the activities of Teaching Learning Center will be further revised. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ramachandra sir, for giving the detailed description about the activities of Teaching Learning Center. May I now request Professor L. Krishnanand to introduce our guest of honor, Mr. Dilip Menezes, Managing Director, 3D Systems India. Professor Krishnanand sir.
Thank you, Dr. Chokkalingam, for giving me this opportunity to introduce our guest of honor, Dilip Menezes. At the outset, I would like to thank our director, Professor N.V. Raman Rao Garu, our TLC coordinator, Dr. Professor A. Ramchandra Garu, for giving us this opportunity to conduct this program. And it is our pleasure to introduce the guest of honor today, that is Mr. Dilip Menezes. Incidentally, Menezes is a very, very dynamic entrepreneur from the beginning. He did his BTech from Goa Engineering College in mechanical discipline in the year 1993 to 1996, and later he became almost a kind of a born kind of entrepreneur with about 21 years of experience in building and running additive manufacturing related technology companies, two of which were acquired by 3D Systems in 2011. So from the beginning, I think he has gone into this entrepreneurial mode, and subsequently what happened is his companies were so good that they were purchased by the 3D Systems, and they have become the subsidiary of those 3D Systems. So, and the 3D Systems, they have appreciated Dr. Menezes for his entrepreneurial qualities in a way where they have asked him to head their 3D Systems in India for Indian operations. So while he was nurturing his own startups in the form of building the hardware and software teams, which are useful for 3D printer and 3D software sales. And he also built a very excellent team of salesmen, and then at the same time building good customer experience, and he has built a very good confidence in the customers that 3D systems for quality and commitment to the customers. In fact, recently we have purchased their 3D systems at a cost of 1.5 crores, and the way they have conducted the training for us is very good. And still he is still managing a small companies which is called as and he's also co-founder of Print 3D Corporation, and he was also the director of Floating Point Solutions Private Limited. So it is our fortunate, sir, like you have taken your time to be part of this online course in this crisis period. And now I request Dilip Menezes to commence his guest of honor speech. Thank you, sir. Dilip Menezes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for the nice introduction. First of all, thank you for having me here. I'm quite privileged to grace the occasion. What I'd like to say is to all the dignitaries and also to the students taking part in this week-long course is I went through the schedule of all the classes, and it was quite interesting. It is quite laid out very well, and this actually brought me back in time when I was studying, when I was doing my mechanical engineering. And I just want to share a couple of points there. So the first time I saw the internet was when I was in my third year engineering. I had to take the college bus and go to the Goa University, which is 30 kilometers away, and sit in one room and look at a small screen which had a text-based browser. And I had to use the tab key to go from one link to the other, which was there on the page. At that point of time, a 3D printer didn't even exist in my mind. If we had to go to any, if we had to search for any information as students, we had to go and sit in a library and search for a book, maybe stand in a queue, and then leaf through the pages and try and get some information. Now we live in a world wherein you can get any information at your fingertips on your phone. You in this organization have been blessed with a visionary as the director who has thought so much in front that he has actually planned for a metal 3D printer in NIT Warangal. This is not just a regular 3D printer which prints in plastic. So you are blessed with visionaries with a very long kind of foresight. So I guess the point which I'm trying to make here is that you should be very thankful and make the best use of the resources that are at your disposal, and take part in courses like this and learn, because I believe there is nothing stopping us from doing something really amazing. The only difference between students and academicians in this country and maybe in the West is access to resources. That's what makes a difference. Everybody's smart, but it's the access to the resources that makes a difference. So with just those small, and later in the day I will be giving a talk on the emerging trends. So there I hope some interaction as well. Use this whole week to get all your questions answered, learn more, but just be aware that you are in an organization, NIT Warangal, which is really at the cutting edge of imparting knowledge related to the most advanced technologies which have changed countries and also civilizations. So with those few words, I think so I'll hand it back.
Thank you, Mr. Dilip Meneses, for your encouraging words, as well as for giving your valuable time with us today. Thank you so much. Now I request Dr. R. Satish Babu, Head Department of Biotechnology, to introduce our chief guest, Professor N.V. Ramana Rao, sir, Director, National Institute of Technology, Varangal. Satish Babu, sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Chakulima. Good morning to everyone. It is a great honor for me to introduce and welcome our chief guest of this morning. Dr. Raman Rao is at present Director and Professor of Civil Engineering at National Institute of Technology, Varangal. He did his BE in Civil Engineering from Osman University, MTech and PhD from UK. MTech from IIT Delhi and PhD from UK, and in Structural Engineering, University of Wales, Swansea. He has held several administrative posts as Registrar, JNT University, Hyderabad, from 30/4/2012 to 21/7/2015 as a Principal, JNTUH College of Engineering, Hyderabad. And he also worked as a Director, Bureau of Industrial Consultancy Services, JNT University, Hyderabad. And also he worked as a Coordinator, Entrepreneurship Development Cell, St. JNT University, Hyderabad. He has edited 3 books and published 157 papers in international journals, international conferences, national journals, national conferences. He organized 12 conferences, workshops, delivered 15 invite lectures. He has guided more than 60 MTechs, 12 PhDs, and guiding at present several PhDs. He has won several awards, prizes, certificates. To name few, Outstanding Concrete Engineer Award for the year 2012 by AP chapter of the Indian Concrete Institute. Sir Arthur Cotton Memorial Prize by the Institute of Engineers for the best paper in the IEA journal is December 2012. Sir Arthur Cotton Memorial Prize by the Institute of Engineers, India in 2015. State Best Teacher Award for the year 2011 by the Government of Andhra Pradesh. Best Designer Award for the year 2004 by Indian Concrete Institute, Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad. And he also awarded in the 1998 Commonwealth Fellowship to pursue postdoctoral research at University of Wales, UK. Young Engineer Award for the year 1995 by Government of Andhra Pradesh and Institute of Engineers, India, AP. And he was awarded 1989 Commonwealth Scholarship to pursue PhD in Structural Engineering at University of Wales, UK. He has been a member of Academic Senate, JNT University, Hyderabad, expert committee member of City Police Commissionerate Headquarters and Integrated Command and Control Center, past chairman of Indian Concrete Institute, AP Hyderabad Center, past secretary of Indian Concrete Institute, AP Hyderabad Center, executive member of Indian Institute of Bridge Engineers. He has membership of several important state level government committees. He has been a member of several AICT inspection committees, Board of Studies Chairman in Civil Engineering, JNTUH, Coordinator Singareni Calories Recruitment Test, External Expert Member of ISRO Departmental Promotion Committee, DPC. He has been nominated as an expert committee member constituted by UGC for grant of autonomous status to various technical institutions. He has been a subject committee member of Telangana State Public Service Commission. He is a member of Telangana State Pollution Control Board, expert committee member of Telangana State Power Generation Corporation. He has been the convener MSET 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, Andhra Pradesh, and convener MSET 2015-2016 Telangana State. A state level entrance exam. It is a state level examination center. Examination. He is also a member JEE Apex Board for conduct of JEE examination in 2018, 2019, and 2020 for admission into IITs, NITs, and CFTIs for admission into professional courses of engineering and medical streams. He has been a member of several high power committees constituted by Government of AP and Telangana. He has been a member of committee to frame affiliation guidelines for affiliated engineering colleges by Government of Telangana. He has visited US, UK, China, Spain, Taiwan, Portugal for academic collaborations. Professor N.V. Raman Rao took over as a director NIT Warangal on 23rd 10/2017. Today, we are privileged to have an opportunity to listen to him this morning. On behalf of the organizers, here I welcome you, sir, to the FTP program. So, here I request our beloved director to give a speech.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
One thing I would like to add, to the brief portrayal of our beloved director. Actually, very recently, he was actually having a mission motto of improvising the NIRF ranking of NIT Warangal. And after he took over only, we have jumped from about some 25 to less than 10 now. So we owe a lot as faculty members of NIT Warangal. We owe a lot to give a great reputation for NIT Warangal under his stewardship. One more thing, from to improvise the standards of NIT Warangal and also to make all the faculty members utilize their knowledge effectively. He has constituted some 5 committees wherein all the faculty members are members across various aspects of the academics, so that the learners, especially the students, will not be put into the loss. Thank you, sir, once again on behalf of the TLC as well as on behalf of the 2 departments and for the information of all the participants. Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you all for the nice words. At the outset, let me extend a very warm welcome to all the distinguished dignitaries. My senior colleague and coordinator of TLC, Professor A. Ramchandra Garu, Professor Mr. Dilip Menzies, guest of honor, Professor Narasimha Rao, Head Mechanical Engineering Department, Professor Satish Babu, Head Biotechnology Department, Professor L. Krishnanand, Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department, Dr. Y. Ravi Kumar, and Dr. Prakash Saudagar, coordinators of this program, and Dr. Chokalingam and Dr. Manjaya and other distinguished invitees, faculty members, and participants of this FDP. We all know that today this is a joint FDP. Almost more than 150 participants are there in the inaugural program. This is a 1-week online faculty development program on teaching and learning of additive manufacturing technology, emphasis on metal 3D printing, and the other one is on emerging trends in biotechnological advancement, challenges and prospects in tackling human diseases. So I have also been invited to give a talk, which is nothing to do with the topics, but it is common to both. It is on effective online teaching and online labs. We all are at present, passing through the most difficult and uncertain times, and the present need is to adopt innovative measures as per the exigencies. The regular mode of contact, face-to-face, has come to a standstill. So its revival depends on reaching normal situation, which is very uncertain in the near future. So I'm glad that our faculty members under the aegis of Teaching Learning Center, NIT Warangal, is really doing many faculty development programs. This is the 4th in the series, which is online, and in fact, we have many other lined up. I really congratulate the Teaching Learning Center, and in fact, I would like to tell the audience that we also have other faculty training department like the E&I ICT Academy. In total, the Pandit Madan Mohan Malavia Teaching Learning Center and the E&I ICT Academy has together trained more than 20,000 faculties all over the country, and this has been rated as one of the best centers, teaching learning centers in the whole country, and we have received a lot of appreciation. And we have to go online. So I thought this topic will be of great relevance to all of us. We don't have a choice. We have to be online, and as teachers, we have to see that we should maintain continuous learning. So I'll just, without much break, I will go to my presentation so that I can save time on the other formalities. So I'm proceeding with my presentation. So normally as a faculty, you are expected to do teaching, research, extension activity, and administration. So let us concentrate only on the teaching, and research is the second part. Innovation, technology-based teaching and learning, and integration of research and teaching. This is what is required for any teacher at this stage. So that is the current status and current requirement. So we have to follow innovation in teaching, and that is a key word now. And in view of the online, so we all know as good teachers, and as experts, we have been teaching several students over a long period of time. And this is the inverted tree. I'll also show you the other way around. That if you just read, only 10% of the students can actually understand. We hear words, only 20% is effective. And if you show them pictures, 30% learning will pass on to the students. If you watch moving pictures, maybe 40%. If you actually demonstrate in the class, like Teaching Learning Center has shown some models, 50%. And then if you teach the activity by doing it, then 70%. And if you simulate the activity, 90%. And if you enable participation in the activity, that is 100%. So that is how the regular teaching learning thing. So how do we do it? How as teachers we can help this triangle? That is lecture, reading, audio, visual, demonstration, discussion, practice doing. See, in the normal face-to-face, this has not been possible. But luckily, as a blessing in disguise, because of COVID, we are moving to online. So now all this is possible now. Audio, visual, demonstration, discussion, practice doing. I show some videos how it can actually happen. And really, I'm telling you that this has given an opportunity to explore the innovative skills of the teachers. And the sky is the limit. You can enhance your potential, test your potential, and make it use to the maximum, and make sure that the student retention is maximum. In fact, if you teach others, you'll get 90%. If you do practice, 75%, discussions 50%, demonstration 30%, audio visual, reading. So with the online, these things can be easily done. So basically, before I go, this is something very important. We all know that to teach is to preach. There has to be some innovation in teaching practices. As a teacher, the regular routine rote type of learning is not enough for today's students. So we have to introduce innovation. So we just cannot teach the way we were taught yesterday. Because somebody rightly said that the transformation in teaching learning has taken place over a period of time. And earlier the Guru Shishya Parampara was there. Then we moved to the chalk and talk, and meanwhile several tools have come where we have the Google Facebooks and the OHPs and other tools coming, and now luckily the transition has been very smooth to online. So the students have access, but still there are issues and challenges which face of us, and how to address these issues and challenges is also a matter of concern to all of us. So this is a famous if we teach today the way we were taught yesterday, please understand that we aren't preparing students for today or tomorrow. So we have to think of different methods because of the COVID, because of lack of face-to-face, because of lack of eye-to-eye contact. How do we actually make it more effective and innovative? So it is left to each individual teacher, but there are some basic guidelines that actually get involved and done it. So I always prefer to use some some of the quotes by people who are very eminent in the teaching, and we know that yes, one learns by teaching. If I teach many things, I learn many things, but one cannot teach except by constantly learning. So as a teacher, we should be lifelong learners, and it doesn't mean that even whether you're old or young, if you want to be a teacher, if you want to teach others, you have to do constantly. Learning is a constant process. So as a teaching again. In today's context, good teaching is a product of basic teaching skills, your modulation, the way you present, common sense, of course, how do you react, and a mastery of one's field. You should be a master to be convincing. And today's world, with the post-COVID, at present, both English and information technology are the tools to allow individuals to participate fully in teaching. So you have to be well versed with the information technology tools which are available. And luckily, we have our EN ICT Academy, which is also equipping many of the faculty members throughout the country in these tools. And now faculty will now have to move towards teaching online in view of the change scenario. There is no other choice left. So what is online education? Basically, it is a type of distance learning, taking courses without attending the brick and mortar school of it. Just general definition I want to give. As a teacher, I want to go from the basics. So some of you already know. So kindly bear with me if you know already. But for the sake of completeness, I'm doing it. So here in the online education, we have online student and teacher, not face to face, and then there's interaction over internet. So the internet quality, the bandwidth are the issues, and electricity are the issues that we need to challenge and that we need to actually do it. And then two-way communication is important. How do you interact with the student, even being online, and then share the knowledge. So in today's world, the new norm, what we call as new norm is a term we use. Our new digital abilities that are required is you require computer literacy in terms of comfort and fluency in keyboarding and using computers. So many of us, including myself, are not very comfortable in these tools, and sometimes we mess up the way we present and we lose the interest. So this is very, very important that you should be comfortable and fluent in using the keyboards and computers. Information. Can you please? Can you please? I request others to kindly mute, please. Then we have the organizers. Can you put a message in the group? Muted everybody. Okay. So then there is the information literacy, the ability to find and critically evaluate online information is something. So you have to also find information, and today we are very lucky that is a ready-made. Lot of online resources are there, open resources are there, free softwares are there, and it is just there and for you to pick up and actually create a very interesting lecture. And then we need to have multimedia literacy. What I mean by that is you should be able to produce and interpret complex documents comprising text, images, and sounds. Like in your presentation, if you don't have these images, it gets bored. Then you should have a computer-mediated communication literacy, so to communicate with the individuals and group. So the knowledge of the pragmatics of the individual and group online interaction, you should be able to be well versed with it. Of course, things are coming up now. So that means, what it means is finally that we have to introduce technology in teaching and learning. So integration is widely desired, but difficult without pervasive preparation. So teachers now need to be prepared, need to be trained to integrate technology and to see that their lectures are effective and students don't miss it. Students don't lose the interest, and their retention is almost more than 90%. That's what is desired. And please understand that in this system, only few enthusiastic individuals will not ensure sustainability. We want everybody to be a part of it. So every faculty should be totally involved in it. So we know that technology will enrich teaching, but for that, teachers and technologists both will have to persevere and innovate. So that is where the key lies. So it's just not, you don't want to do much preparation, just go to the routine thing. It's not thing. You have to now persevere with the new technologies and innovation. So we have to dream, all of us have to dream. As administrators have to dream, as a professor, faculty, you dream, and students also. So teaching and learning always is a continuous process, and it's like a dream which actually has to be fulfilled. How do we do it? So what our dream is, today in the knowledge society, we have a globalization of education and information. So everything is global now. There's no local or narrow thing, but educational especially is global. A lot of information is available worldwide, and we need to actually do many things. So therefore, similarly, there are a lot of tech innovations that have come into the market that is helping us. So earlier it may not have been possible, maybe 10 years back or 5 years back, but today we are well equipped with technological innovation. And then we need to have what we call as a knowledge-based economy and society. Of course, everything is knowledge-based. And then over a period of time, escalating demand for education. For example, Ravi Kumar was telling that when you organize the first FDP through the Atal Academy of AICT, there were 1100 applications and he had to shortlist only 200. So there's a demand, but we are not able to reach. So this is how this online will help us to do it. And the vision of online is we need to have effective learning. So any learning should be effective. That means there should be more, what do you call, more effective in understanding and learning things. And then for all, it should be for all, not only we have to make access to everybody. So there are some issues like bandwidth and others. So we have to think of solutions for that. Government is seriously thinking many solutions, and I'm sure in the near future that will not be an issue at all. And then anytime, people can learn at any time and then anywhere. So anywhere is something you can sitting in your home. You are sitting in the comforts of your home and attending this lecture. There could be somewhere you are sitting. So anytime, and so that is the key of online education. And unless we dream of this, we cannot achieve. And I'm sure it will be very easy for all of us to achieve this. Now, this COVID lockdown has given us an opportunity. So we have something called as before COVID, BC, and then during COVID and after COVID. So during COVID, we have been experimenting with various things and learning webinars and all that. And now we have come to a stage, yes, what to do after COVID. And very soon, maybe we are reopening the institutes, maybe first week of September or whatever is the dates that we arrive at. And then we need to, so this COVID lockdown and is given an opportunity, and everybody is affected. The learners are affected, teachers are affected, both of science and engineering. The job seekers are affected, attending interviews are preparing for it. In fact, I came with the request of many people who lost their jobs. Now they say, sir, please can you give us some training, some certification, wherein we will upgrade our skills. So this is an opportunity for them now to open online courses in the emerging and thirst areas, and then job changing from IT to core to management. So there's a lot of shifting, and people need skills. So that is where we have to make clear, our strategies clear, how to acquire additional skills and clarity in concept doing this. That is a challenge that all of us will face doing this. Now coming back to online teaching again, faculty who mostly teach face-to-face classes have to get started in online teaching. So we have to address various aspects of the teaching learning process in the online medium beyond content. So it's not just simple going to the class and delivering. So there are some other aspects that need to be addressed, and that is how we need to think. We have to learn some key principles, strategies, and tools for effective teaching learning in this new medium. So we have to adopt processes which are based in evidence from research and practice in online. See, there are many technologies which have been tested, tried. So you don't want to reinvent the wheel again. We need to test what is available, what is good, what is bad. And luckily for us, many of the things have been. And I'm glad that IIT Bombay has come out with a very wonderful diagram. Many of the things I'll be sharing with them, their ideas. So there are some concerns also. Let us not simply blindly think that online is everything and everything. There are some concerns which we need to actually address. That the students' access to internet varies widely across the country and across institutions. We ourselves, NIT Warangal, the Dean Academic conducted a survey of the students, and we found that about 20 to 30% of the students say that we are not comfortable with online, we don't have access computer. A similar exercise was carried out by IIT and other things. But what the IIT experience told by the director was that when they conducted the classes, almost 99% attended, some to some source. There will be always difficulties, but we need to think of solutions. Maybe yes, in the near future that will not be. That will be only a thing. So the mechanism for their implementation have to be designed depending on the specific context of one's own student. So we never should leave the marginalized and the other things. So and there are issues of availability of power, especially in our country. Power is not a continuous thing. We don't know when it comes, when it goes. Likely things have improved over the last few years, and we are very good in the internet coverage and bandwidth. Even here, sometimes too many users, the bandwidth is a problem. We see a lot of disturbance. And then data usage charges that need to be considered while implementing online instruction in a student-friendly manner. So these are the issues, concerns that we have. So I would like to have online teaching, this model anywhere, anytime, and personal. So the student, I can interact personally, and flexible delivery. I can deliver at my pace, so the student understand at his pace. Then teachers are mostly facilitators like peers and mentors. So from why and where we are not what and how. We move from what and how to why and where. And then a lot of practical applications can be done. I'll show you some videos how we do it. And then you can use individual projects, assignments, so that students will learn better. And student will own that project so that the student ownership comes. And it is mostly evaluated, not examined. You know the difference between evaluation and examination. Examination is at the end of the thing, you just ask them. But evaluation is a continuous process where at every time in a class also, you can take polls and see questions and see, make them interactive. So that is how the things do. So these things have to change, we have to change, and everything has to move forward. So this is, what are the challenges that we face? In fact, let us say, what are the challenges of moving to online instruction? This is as a faculty I'm asking. So first, most of the faculty say that online medium won't work for my topic or my teaching style. In fact, IIT Bombay has really compiled a very nice online manual. If you have access to it, please do it. Otherwise, I'm willing to share it, or you can go to their site. It is available. So the question they say is online medium won't work for my topic or my teaching style. So in order to meet these challenges, one has to adapt one's teaching style so that one's class works well in online. So you have to modify, adapt, do modification in curriculum, do modify in your teaching style to see that you adapt, because you don't have a choice. The second question that is the most commonly asked is, how do I deal with the online medium and ensure that student learning is not compromised? Or how do I exploit the power of the online medium and utilize it to promote effective? Many teachers say, yes, I want to. Every teacher in the country is very keen, because he has come to the teaching profession by choice, and he is keen to see that he wants to be the best teacher so that his students get the best and there is effective student learning. So in order to meet this challenge, we first need to know what are the options exist in online medium and learn their advantages and disadvantages and make decisions. So that is what is now the need of the hour. So whenever we say we have two types, always in online. The first is what we call as synchronous. That is, a teacher and student have some direct simultaneous contact. And it can be also synchronous, so instruction and learner do not meet in time or space. So both modes are possible, and you can adopt whichever mode you feel comfortable. So let us go more deeply into this synchronous thing. So when you say synchronous, it means that instructors or the teachers and students gather at the same time on a specified online platform. So like, we are in a synchronous mode, and we can actually go to the specified platform and deliver our lecture and interact with the students in the real time, but in a live to live, like we are doing now. An example is a live class using video conferencing technology as Zoom. Zoom anyway is not much used now. And then the advantage is you have a feeling of personal engagement and immediate response. If somebody asks, immediately I can respond. The student also remembers, yes, what to ask. But there are disadvantages in synchronous. What is that? Availability of bandwidth for all students, logistic challenges in scheduling, managing sessions, student fatigue, continuously sitting for long hours may not be a good solution. So it's better to have a half day thing. I mean, of course, I leave it to the organizers, but it's very difficult that it is not so convenient. So disadvantage, availability of bandwidth for all students, logistics, challenges in scheduling, managing sessions, student fatigue with longer lectures or having to deal with audio, video glitches, and instructor fatigue of speaking into a software for the duration of class. Sometimes, sitting continuously in front of computer, we also get into some mental and health problems also. These are issues. Okay, and then there is a solution for that. We have, so this is a typical, what do you call, Zoom platform and how it looks, and many people participating like this, or go-to platform. This is a mode of a synchronous and synchronous learning. So the asynchronous, so you have instructors in the asynchronous, instructors prepare and post course material for students in advance. So it's like a flipped class. You get the material, students will get the material well in advance. You go through at your convenience and all that. But the problem is, we have to find really whether the student is interested. So only interested students will come back with questions and answers. These are some issues So students may access these course materials at the time of their choosing and will interact with each other over a longer period of time. So students can learn at their own pace, because the understanding IQ levels of each student is different. So we have to allow that. An example is a set of pre-recorded videos and corresponding practice questions uploaded on LMS, such as Moodle. And we are tomorrow there is actually a training on LMS, and I think I'll be also discussing on that. So this is a synchronous thing from IIT Bombay, where they have given a date and then they have slides from class of so and so. They have previous slides and all that, and then announcements and all that. So students can access this and as and when they require and go back to that thing. So this is a model of asynchronous. Now we feel that it is not. There are some advantages. There are some. Let us see what are the advantages. So advantage is anytime, anywhere access, which I told you in the beginning. Self-paced. Everybody can learn his own pace. You can, because everybody in the class face to face. We have to put everybody in the same basket. But in a online, people can learn at self-paced and flexible, and greater cognitive engagement. Since students may interact with the material repeatedly and over longer duration. So if I am not clear of one concept, I can continuously go through it, see other sources and get benefit. That is advantage. But what are the disadvantages? Is a lack of immediate response. If a student has a doubt, immediately we cannot respond. And a possibility the students may not look at the posted materials. This is the most biggest problem. Many of the things, even our mails or messages we send to students, some of them don't even read it and start reacting. So that is how this is the disadvantage. So what do? Solution is to have a sort of a mixed, that is a mix of synchronous and asynchronous, which can combine the advantages of both the modes. So you have an online course and then we have a live question answers. This is from IIT Bombay online course that you find. So this is going to help your teaching and make it more and more effective. So always, there's every mode there's a trade-off. Some is good, some is good. So synchronous and asynchronous trade-offs. So a key decision for instruction teaching online is which mode to use: synchronous, asynchronous, or mixed. So while we may be tempted to replicate our face-to-face classroom into the online medium using some tools, this is not advised. So there are there's one video, but I don't want to, because of shortage of time, I don't want to play. I'll go to the next slide. So which mode should an instructor choose? So instructor may choose to use synchronous or asynchronous mode depending on their topic. So depending on a topic, you can select whether you want to go for synchronous or asynchronous, or material to be taught and the relative advantages and disadvantages. This is not an either or decision. It is recommended to have a mix of both. So always, people are preferring, if you have a mix, you can achieve better communication with students. A single course or even a single topic can have a combination of these two modes. So there are some best practices for each mode, such as allowing students to ask questions via hand raise, like we do here in this. Many of the tools allow that, or chat features in the message box. You can chat to improve interaction in live classes. There exist strategies to address the limitations in each mode. For example, to ensure that students go through a posted video, follow it up with a short graded quiz based on it. So you can force students to go through it, but this is something we have to try and make sure that yes, students will do wonderfully well. So that is what is required. So the recommendation is what IIT Bombay and other organizations, for most courses, it is recommended to have a blend of synchronous and asynchronous approaches. A typical blend could be 1 hour of live class per week. Just 1 minute, please. Sorry. So for each mode, become familiar with the best practice. Every mode has got best practices, and it is your responsibility as a teacher to become with the best practices. You will see many blogs, many discussions going on in the net, and which is good, which is bad, and apply strategies to address the limitations. You can have your own strategy. That is where your innovation. And innovation is the key, they say. So that is how you have to actually make sure that for each mode, become familiar with the best practices and apply strategies to address limitations, adapt the strategies depending on the specific context of one's own student. So you have to see which subject fits you most and are more like that. So in fact, I was telling there are a lot of open education resources now available in the world. Our government of India itself has come out with SWAYAM, which is the website is http swayam. You just click, you'll go there. You don't have to click anything because of time consumption. We have domain schools, diploma, undergraduate and postgraduate students. Then we have NPTEL for engineering, science and humanities courses. So that is the website. Then we have NOC, that the online courses in NPTEL again, engineering, science and humanities courses. Then we have virtual lab, which is very, very good, and a consortium of IIT people have come with http vlab.co.in. And then we have the skill and spoken tutorials, recently also it's become very important, where you can actually have a combination of video and lecture and then practice. So this is for skill enhancement for students. And then we have the open software source, the FOSSEE one, which actually is a very wonderful, where a lot of open softwares free available. It's a free open source softwares for engineering education, and engineering students can make use of it. The teachers can make use of it. You can make use of these tools for delivering your lectures, and you will find a lot of difference in the way you teach and in the way the students actually learn. So this is what is actually going to make a difference. So what's the way forward? So there are many courses already available online on YouTube, MOOCs, SWAYAM, and many other sources. It is the ingenuity of the faculty of how you will create a blend where your amount of work is not increased, but you can still be relevant. So that is the challenge that we all face, and you should make sure that you actually solve this to your convenience. So this is so again, in this also there are several models which IIT Bombay has come up with. It's called as a learner-centric model, learner-centric MOOCs model. So this is a model as a suitable conceptual basis for online instruction. It is important for instruction to become familiar with some key concepts, especially online, and terminology from this model which are used in online courses. Like we have learner experience interaction, wherein we focus questions for discussion, plus peer interaction, plus reflection quiz. Then we have learning dialogues, where the content and reflection spot is there. So it's for LED. Then we have LXT, the learning extension strategies like resources plus quizzes and all that. And then learning by doing, activities, customized feedback and all. So these are all. So let us see each of the thing, what it contains. For example, learning dialogue. So in online settings, long lecture videos have been shown to be ineffective. So a lot of experience, people have realized that giving a long video lecture of more than 10 minutes is totally ineffective. People can't sustain. So short videos with in-video activities, quizzes are appropriate, and these are termed as learning dialogue. So it's a combination of a learning dialogue. Then let us see the other tools that we have, like learning by doing. That is, in online setting, relegating practice problem and exercise to the end of the class is ineffective. So you should not. I told you it's evaluation, not it's a continuous learning or continuous evaluation, not examination. So in online settings, we have to make sure that during the course itself we can have frequent MCQs or short questions, so that students learn. So this is called as learning by doing. Then we have learning extension trajectories. That is, in online settings, simply giving a list of resources for further reading is ineffective. So making diverse resources available at the appropriate points in a course, along with simple questions on each, is more appropriate. These are termed as learning extension trajectories, like giving small questions and quizzes to make sure that a student is understanding and following your lectures. Otherwise, it becomes like you're speaking to a wall. Nothing comes out, and you don't feel the enthusiasm that is actually happening. Then we have learning experience interaction. So simply providing a discussion forum has been shown to be ineffective for fostering meaningful discussion and peer learning among students. So making focused questions for steering the online discussion. So as a teacher, you can have a predefined questions and plan such a way the student's mind will be ignited. So you have to making focused questions for steering the online discussion along with the simple questions to ensure the student participate is more appropriate. These are termed as learner experience. So you can have a combination of these four things and then arrive. So basically what is happening is compared to the face-to-face and online, you have ordinary lectures. In online, the same lecture can be simply split into small chunks, create a set of LEDs. Then we have exercise and practice problem, give them immediately after each LED, include as LBDs. Then we have resources and references, provide incentive for students to go to them, include as LXTs. I told you what is LXT, what is learning extension technology, what is learning dialogues. So all these things and learning by discussion and all that. And then discussion and try, have focused question and steer discussion. So how you convert the face-to-face to online is what is, how do you map, in fact, mapping of components of face-to-face teaching with online teaching. So again, the word effective teaching I'm using quite simple. My title is effective teaching. So when we say effective, what I mean is technology must be heavily leveraged in a way to enhance the classroom experience and excite the students' passion for learning. In a perfect world, this should mean each of the participating students will be excited each morning in anticipation of coming to the lecture, and no student would ever want to leave after the lecture. So that is how the mind should be excited and ignited for the student. So there is a very important thing, and many people ask me this question: technology won't replace teachers, but teachers who use technology will probably replace teachers who do not in the present. So this is something which is applicable to all of us as teachers. So please use technology now in the present day context to make sure that the teachers will do better. So, again, summarizing on the teaching part, I'll go to the lab part now. The benefits are flexibility in time, variation for lower cost. You don't have much cost involvement, and comfortable learning environment. You can sit in an air-conditioned room in your house, in the care of your mother and parents, and the continuing profession. Negative is only few people take admission, or people will show interest in the thing. The high rate of students leaving the course. People don't know the aim. Low level of eagerness to participate. Unless you stimulate very much, very few. The less schools, and face to face we can have some discipline coming in the class and classroom. But here in the home, whether it's there are many people who just switch on the computer and go away somewhere else. So on the screen you feel that they are visible, but actually their mind is somewhere else and doing something else. So that is a problem with these online things. So okay, we know that the roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. So we have to work and persevere as teachers, and that is what the message. So this is valid everywhere and every year, long back also. That is what it is. So I would just like to conclude this part with the move to labs. A teacher who is attempting to teach without inspiring the people with the desire to learn is hammering on a cold iron. So we don't want you to do that as teachers, especially online learning. You have to be really very innovative in teaching them. So now it is not to give people fish, it is not to teach them how to fish. That was the saying, if you give people a fish for one day, then he will be happy for one day. But if you teach him how to fish, he'll be happy for life. But now the thing is how to fish. Now it is to build a new and a better fishing industry. So that is what is required in the present day context. So again, the challenges, so the key to successful online is not the choice of tools, but the quality of learning activities that we engage the student using these tools. We will have to introduce, I would like to summarize, we'll have to introduce blended learning and personalized education, managing practicals, apprenticeship, and overall experiential learning, including peer group activity in Virginia. So one more thing is, many of the courses are such a way that we cannot just teach using online, or some courses are ideal for online, but some courses are not. For example, if we taught the music the way we try to teach engineering in an unbroken 4-year course, we could end up with all theory and no music. But that is not what it is. When we study music, we start to practice from the beginning and we practice for the entire thing. Even many engineering courses, sciences courses require a lot of practice. So let us see how we can blend labs into our teaching. So that is called as experience learning, but experience learning virtually. See, not through the. So these are all examples of experience learning by doing. Somebody is doing it, somebody is swimming. So these are all experiencing. So this is what Confucius said, but now it is more relevant now. So it is experience learning virtually mode. How we do it? Let us see. So these are some examples. So we have to make sure that our LMS thing and all fits into that. So we now go into the second part of my lecture, that is online labs. How do we actually make use of online? Luckily, there has been a panel initiative by the Ministry of Human Resource Development under the aegis of National Mission on Education through ICT, NME ICT, which actually has created several virtual labs, and really it will be wonderful that these are ready now available, especially in view of this COVID, and many of us can ignite the mind of the student. So the motivation for this lab was that they have to maintain physical distances, a limit of doing many institutes do not have even lab experiments, and then sharing of costly. These are all problems. There's a proliferation of costly. So these are the issues and motivation that they wanted. Finally, what happened is they got an idea. So there is a physical lab actually in some located in some institute. There is a remote user who is away from it and is making use of internet to access these labs. It is very simple. It's not very difficult, and you will see that anybody can access these labs very easily. And anytime, anywhere lab, you can do it at his convenience. And these are for free to use. Please note that no charges. The government of India has made this VLab facility free to use. Anybody can access to internet or any PC, because I was telling experience. How do you get experiential learning? This is how you can make experiential learning. And surprisingly, you can do it even on your mobile phone. So what it means is you don't require such big computing power and other things. So, and this has been developed in self-learning mode. You can learn at your own pace and you can do your own thing. A lot of innovative experimentation, and there are, in fact, today, as of today, there are over 120 virtual labs have been developed, and some more are getting developed. So these are the salient features I was telling. So if you compare the difference between the physical labs and the virtual labs, the physical lab, the cost is typically in few lakhs of rupees, whereas the virtual labs, the cost for a particular student is almost nil, or a particular institute is almost nil. Only you require is an existing PC with the internet connection. That is most of the mobiles also are having, luckily. So the availability is limited in time and space in physical labs, whereas virtual labs you can use designed for 24/7. So you find many students prefer to work in the nights, late nights. So yes, it is available 24/7. You can use it anytime, anywhere. And experimentations, there are limited options for innovativeness in the physical labs, whereas virtual labs provides wider and safer options for innovative experimentation. The user experience is very good, best, and virtual labs, second best. So of course, the user will not feel that. Still, some things can be overcome. And then the virtual lab concept actually came up with the objectives of to provide remote access to labs in various disciplines of science and engineering, and to cater to students at the UG level, PG level, as well as to research scholars. Since there are many partners who are from private colleges, so I thought that it is relevant to them. They can still make it continuous learning to enable the students to learn at their own pace and to arouse their curiosity, and to provide a complete learning management system that includes web resources, video lectures, animated demonstration, and self-evaluation. So many of these are actually remote triggered. Remotely you can trigger the experiments, or their measurement base, or their modulation simulated, all that. So this is very closer to reality. And they are scalable. You can actually scale them and also make it more relevant to the present day teaching. So this is actually an participating institute, IIT Delhi, IIT Guwahati, IIT Bombay. So many IITs and one IIT Surathkal and Dayarbag and jointly have created these labs, and today it is readily available. Anybody can use it. And almost every area of engineering and sciences they have covered, like electronics, communication, computer science engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, chemical engineering, biomedical and biotechnology engineering, and chemical sciences, physical sciences. So all areas of science and engineering are covered. So this is a site www.blab.com. So I'll just show you how it goes. So this is how it looks, the opening page. And it's one common website. The access is free. Anybody can access it any time. There's no restriction. And why this got value added? Because on-demand labs, you can learn at your own pace. It's an integrated learning, content at one place, self-evaluation. You can pre and post lab quizzes, animation are there, and freedom to make mistakes. So you can make a mistake and see what happens if you make a mistake. So it's a complete learning management system, wonderfully available. I think people should use of it. And in fact, electronics communication has 21 experiments. Computer science right now 23, electrical 12, mechanical 8, chemical 4, biotech and biomedical. So these are labs. Okay, the experiments are many, but and physical sciences 11, chemical sciences. Total 126 labs are now active, and some more are in the process of being developed. You can develop your own lab. For example, I'll just show you this lab experience. How it looks for just a quick idea. Yeah, so this is how the cover page looks like. Let us see then, since most of the participants are mechanical engineering, let us go to mechanical engineering, see what happens. So yes, I go to mechanical and there are different labs available. So I like, say, let us say I want to go to some lab like say robotics or say mechanisms and robotic lab. So I go to a robotic lab and then I just want to make list of experiments. Let us say I go to list of experiments. And then I go to some experiment called Mu Master. Let us see how I stimulate. So if you see, if I stimulate, it looks. So this is how it looks. The stimulation on the screen. So you will see that the experiment has stimulated now. And now what you can do is actually by playing with the parameters, you can actually move the equipment and see what happens, how the joints are moving. So you get a real feel. It's not that, even though you are sitting remotely, this is how the wrist is turning. By varying with the parameters, and there's a graph actually which actually plots many things. And there are other parameters which you can, like the angle, everything you play. And you will really understand the beauty of it is you will feel like that there are so many experiences. In fact, your energy is the end of the key, and you can really do wonderful experiments. This is available in all branches of engineering, I'm telling you, whether it's biotechnology, physical sciences, chemical, mechanical. People have to make use of it. Even faculty can make use of it, devise new experiments, new challenging problems. This is a wrist roll, how it runs, and this is a wristband. So like that, this is how things are, and let's keep. Close it. Yeah, so this is similarly NIT Surathkal also has come out with another lab which is called RT labs, remote labs. NIT, so many labs are now, even internationally, many labs are available. So our job as a faculty is to persevere and to innovate, to think of engineering ideas to make our students. You can actually simulate these videos and also do it. And sorry. Okay, so let us go to the next one. So this is an example in science, because Ramchandra is from science, I thought I took a small example, and I told you it's available everywhere.
To conduct experiments anytime and anywhere with a computer, tablet, or smartphone. The experiments are available in both English and Arabic. PraxiLabs can also be integrated and used with most school or university learning management systems. The physics virtual labs consist of tens of 3D interactive physics experiments, including electricity, magnetism, heat and thermodynamics, electronics, physics, waves, and more. As for chemistry virtual labs, they include most of the well-known general, analytical, and organic chemistry experiments. The biology virtual students easily understand the steps of common biology experiments, which they usually don't have access to. Includes support files and videos to guide students through the steps of the experiments step by step. In addition to exercises, quizzes, and tests that all complement all aspects and styles of learning. PraxiLabs, A virtual world of science in your hands.
So this is an example. Was it visible, sir? Was the video visible? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Just an example. A lot of advancement has come, like virtual labs, virtual labs in chemistry, which is something, again, I have taken Professor Ramchandran. So a lot of advancement have come now in labs, and now today it is possible. In fact, very recently there was a video in WhatsApp which actually showed even in schools they are using this augmented reality, and I'm glad that Ravi Kumar is connected. So this
The model of the classroom is developing formula and many from the class make to the teacher. The school is experimenting with augmented reality during the virtual classes. This is the LKG class of the school. It's not just elephants. In class 6, a Hindi teacher stands next to a car as she explains what a guide is. Class 5 students of social sciences, an artificially created solar system revolves in the classroom. Shyam, a teacher at the school, is behind this new development. Speaker P. Shivaramakrishnan and film director Lal Jose have appreciated the school for its efforts.
Augmented reality system ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള ക്ലാസ്സുകൾ വളരെ ഗംഭീരമായിരുന്നു.
So what this is telling is that there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of technology available. We as teachers should make use of this technology to actually to educate our students. I'm sure students will get a lot of benefit. Even rural areas they able to do. Only issue is the internet connectivity and the thing. So resources are available in the internet. Collect them, do it properly, compile it, and then you can do wonderfully well things actually. So go to my next. I thought I'm talking only about science, so I'll have this is my last video, then I'll conclude because the next 10:50 is a vote of thanks. So I don't want to take much time because I understand the importance of time. So this is a virtual lab in engineering. This is actually a Lawrence Level lab in additive manufacturing. And see how actually they do this. It's a very interesting lab, and it tells you the 3D printing done in there.
Additive manufacturing is changing the way the world thinks about manufacturing and design. And here at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, it's changing the way our scientists approach research and development. Today, we'll look around 3 of the additive manufacturing research labs on the Lawrence Livermore campus. The lab we're in now is one of 2 that focuses on 3D printing whole metal parts, like this rocket motor. This motor is a manufacturing marvel, one that illustrates the game-changing potential of 3D printing in research and development. It's printed in one piece over the course of 8 days. It's not a simple part. Channels run the length of the bell-shaped opening, curved throat and body, something that would have been impossible to build using traditional methods. Fuel will be pumped through these channels, both cooling the motor and preheating the fuel as it travels to the combustion chamber. The first prototype engine cost $10,000 to print, far cheaper than if it had been manufactured using traditional approaches. One of the challenges researchers at Lawrence Livermore are addressing with 3D printed metal parts is honing the process to remove tiny imperfections that can impact part performance. The goal? Create brand new parts without defects, the first time, every time. This printing process, known as selective laser melting, uses lasers to melt thin layers of metal powder into a single solid layer. And when we say thin, we mean it. Each layer is the depth of about 4 powder particles. As additional layers are melted on top of each other, the layers add up to become a whole part. But not all additive manufacturing focuses on printing completed parts. In a different additive manufacturing lab at Lawrence Livermore, researchers are building materials with properties that wouldn't otherwise exist in nature, using structures like this octet truss. The individual cells of this microarchitecture result in an otherwise unnatural strength-to-weight ratio, something particularly relevant to aerospace, transportation, and national defense applications. This team of mechanical engineers, material scientists, and chemical engineers are using a number of different 3D printing processes to experiment with unique combinations of plastic, metal, and ceramic inks. The additive manufacturing process we see at work here, called projection microstereolithography, is being used to construct a component consisting of thousands of octet truss cells stacked into a microlattice. These microlattices can be scaled up or down, making up the building blocks of ultra-light yet super strong material. This particular printer works by projecting a two-dimensional image onto a light-sensitive liquid resin. The areas that are illuminated by light solidify into the projected shape. Because this printer projects light at tremendously high resolution, this build process enables researchers to micro-architect high-resolution cells, placing material only at the stress points where it's needed. Just a few feet away, a different additive manufacturing process is at work, called electrophoretic deposition. This process enables researchers to incorporate multiple materials into one structure with extreme precision. In this case, the researcher is building a super strong, ultralight ceramic material infused with aluminum, designed for use in body armor. To build this material, the printer applies an electric field onto a substrate that's bathed in a nanoparticle solution. The nanoparticles are attracted to the electric field, causing them to solidify into a two-dimensional shape. As the electric field changes, the substrate lowers, building 3D structures layer by layer. In this lab, we also can see a third 3D printing process at work, direct ink writing. With this process, a continuous filament of ink is distributed from a nozzle, forming an object layer by layer. This process is being used to create padding for specially designed helmets, embedded sensors, and other unique components. What you see here is the process used by researchers to 3D print a new type of graphene aerogel that could improve energy storage in batteries. Inanimate objects aren't the only things being 3D printed at Lawrence Livermore. Across the lab, mechanical, material, and chemical engineers are bioprinting living human blood vessels. The 3D printing process at work here is the familiar direct ink writing technique, though the ink itself is a bit unusual. These researchers are 3D printing human cells that will self-assemble into a living network of blood vessels. The goal of this research is to be able to test new prescription drugs, bioagents, and toxins without relying on animal testing or risking the health of human test subjects. But to do that, this team will need to build vascular networks to keep complex simulated organs alive. And 3D printing could be the answer. As 3D printing disrupts R&D across the laboratory, Lawrence Livermore will continue.
So I think that is the last video. Sorry, it is deviated from the other people biotechnology topic. But anyway, I wanted to tell the partners there is a lot of opportunities available for all of us. Only thing we have to extract and exploit the opportunities from all over the world. global and present it in our presentation. It will make them interesting. Students will get involved, give innovative experiments, and that is how we need to do. So this lab, virtual lab project, a lot of impact has been there and it's been very successful. And in fact, they are willing to conduct many of the lectures to many of the institutes. So they have almost conducted field trials in 170 colleges. They have conducted 170 workshops. More than 350,000 students have been trained. So it's very easy. And more than 2,500 faculty have been trained all over the country. So a lot of field trials are there and going on still. And people are in the regular continuous workshop is available in this V labs. Kindly make use of this facility because they are suitable to our curriculum. In fact, you can also tailor make to our curriculum, or you can modify a particular experiment to suit your curriculum, give students challenging problems, and that is what is required. So it is actually a opportunity, you know, it puts everybody on the same platform, with a higher institution as well as a private institution, and gives equal opportunity to everybody. It gives users convenience, and then no extra financial obligation. It narrows down the knowledge gap and improves the quality of education and strengthens the skills. What we have seen, the clarity is there. So make use of these V labs. So, but for effective labs, you know, just flipping a book will not make you learn. Reading it will. So just sticking to virtual labs will not make you learn. Doing it. So you have to continuously practice. You know, I just one day I tried approximately, and I have now done most of the experiments. It's very easy. It's not difficult even for a student. You know, students think their brains are more active. We have reached a stage beyond 50, 60. So minds are not active, but still we can do it. So they can do wonderfully well. So you have to ignite their minds. You have to create the spark in them, and then they will get ignited and do wonderful. So if you want further information on this lab, you have to contact this is a vlab.co.in. You can contact them, so they'll help you to get you more information and also share. So what is the way forward now for us as teachers? So internet connectivity is a challenge, not only in rural areas but also in many cities, and even in cities, you know, or institutes like us, you know, it's a challenge. And when many people use simultaneously, the connection drops. So we need to increase the bandwidth all over. And even the government of India has come out with innovative solutions. There are other solutions such as Swayam Prabha, TTS 32 channels that creating local area network and supply content at regular intervals to a LAN to local servers. All this is possible now. Among that, I would like to conclude with this saying, which I like. There are teachers, three types of teachers: those that make things happen, and I want you to make things happen. I don't want you to be teachers just watch what happened, and those that wonder what happened. So I want you to become to the first category. You have to make things happen by putting more energy and enthusiasm into your lectures, and you can really make a difference. Again, I would like to reply again, this is technology won't replace teachers. The teacher who use technology will probably replace teachers who do not. So this is our dream, and we need to have incorporate our LMS with this thing, and this is our syllabus need to be modified, and hope that all our students will get the dream job after this. They're learning the courses and everything. So thank you very much. Exactly, I maintained my time. I think because it says the inaugural says 10:50 vote of thanks. So I think it's slightly 2 minutes I have overshot. But still, if somebody has questions, we'll take. Otherwise, we'll conclude. Professor, I leave it to you, sir. Ramchandra garu.
Sir, Chakravarti garu, please just say a word of thanks and conclude, sir.
Okay, okay. Right.
Thank you very much, sir, for your informative and motivational lecture. I'm sure that your recommendations and suggestions have enlightened all the faculties here, and it is going to be of enormous help to all of us to adapt to this present day challenge of making online classes more effective and interesting. Thank you once again, sir. Now I request Dr. Manjaya to deliver the vote of thanks. Dr. Manjaya, please.
Thank you, Dr. Chokkalingam. It gives me an immense pleasure to say vote of thanks for this 1 week online FDP on teaching and learning additive manufacturing technology, emphasis on metal 3D printing, organized by the Department of Mechanical Engineering. And the other one, the emerging trends in biotechnology advancement, challenges and prospects in tackling human diseases organized by the Biotechnology Department, NIT Warangal. I, along with our coordinates, would like to thank Teaching Learning Center for financial support under PMMM and TTD scheme. And I would like to thank our beloved director, Professor N.V. Raman Rao, NIT Warangal, and chief guest of this function for his continuous encouragement. And also I would like to thank Mr. Dilip Menz, Managing Director, 3D Systems India, and chief guest of this function. And I would like to thank Professor Ramchandra Yasar, Professor in charge and coordinator of TLC program, Teaching Learning Center, NIT Warangal, and also the guest of honor this function. Professor Narasimha Rao, and the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and Professor Satish Babu, head of the Department of Biotechnology Department. Also, would like to thank the external resource persons, Mr. Dilip Benz, Managing Director, 3D Systems, Dr. Srikant Manda, Mechanical Engineering Department, NIT Surathkal, Dr. M. Lokesh, Kiripnar, and Sri Rapid Technology, Mumbai. In addition to that, we would like to thank all the internal resource persons of the NIT Warangal Department. And also, we'd like to thank Mr. Yogender, founder director of VSD Systems Hyderabad, for sponsoring the course materials. I would like to thank Mr. Govardhan Rao sir, Registrar and NIT Warangal. And also, I would like to thank all the deans and head of the NIT Warangal departments and all officers of NIT W Warangal and office staffs of the mechanical engineering departments. And also, I would like to thank our PhD scholars, those who work seamlessly for continuing this faculty development program, and also the MTech students for this additive manufacturing laboratory, those helped in these programs. And also, I'd like to thank participants of these programs, those who are attending for FTP program in biotechnology and as well as in mechanical department. Thank you very much for everyone's participation.